I remember we talked about it. Did you end up watching Tinder Swindler, or was it, had you always watched it?
So I hadn't watched it. My plan was to watch it this weekend, but I was like, I'll start with Inventing Anna, which was the other scammer show. I thought
Mhm.
it was a movie. It's a
It's
series.
a
So I got,
series.
yes, so I got
Mhm.
sucked into the series and was watching that. But we can definitely talk about it because he is in the ecosphere. Twitter has, I feel like I've seen the show already as much as Twitter has talked about it. So we can get
Right,
into it.
right. It's yeah. This story is one of those things to where you may not have heard about this dude outside of Twitter, but you like a meme, right? There are some memes that you haven't seen the original movie or the original thing that this meme is created off of, but you've seen it enough to where you can safely use it correctly and never even like seen I was that way with The Wire. There was a popular meme to where Weebay, one of the
He
characters,
was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, that one,
oh.
and the camera tilts and pans. I'd always seen that meme, and I was one of those people that didn't watch The Wire when it came out because at the
Hmm.
time I lived in Maryland, worked in the city of Baltimore, and I was one of those people. It's like that's not how Baltimore really is. So I was on some. Well, I'm a protest, right? Because that's not how
Hmm.
they're misrepresenting Baltimore, yada yada yada. But then I ended up going back and watching it maybe like 10 years later. And as soon as I saw that part, I was like,
Yep.
oh, that's where they get that from. And then there's another thing. There's another quote where it says, "You come at the king, you best not miss." That's
Hmm.
one of the quotes in The Wire. And that phrase is used in a lot of hip hop music that I
Hmm.
would hear over and over and over again. So it's like, all that to say,
It's cultural reference.
right, right. Tinder Swindler is one of those things to where you may not have haven't watched it not one time, but enough people have talked about it to where you know what's going on. So fast forward to today, the actual events in the movie happened back in I want to say between 2015 and 2017. Um, if you don't know, he used Tinder to lure women into this fake lifestyle that he was living. He would say he's in some trouble after he's dated these women or they're in a relationship. He says, "Oh, my enemies, my enemies are after me. I need some money, but I can't use any of my credit cards. I can't use any of my bank accounts because my enemies are tracking me. So, as my girlfriend, could you float me 20, $40,000?" And then that would rack up, rack up, rack up to where he totaled amassed over, I want to say $10 million in overall money that he scammed from multiple women, three of which ended up doing this documentary, which became the Tinder Swindler. Um, Back in 2017, I think he went to jail for like a couple months, but he's out and he's got something to say. So much so that this guy who was actually the subject of Tinder Swindler, his name is Simon Leviev, has an agent and is now, according to the story in E News, working on a dating show after being banned from the dating app. According to him, these women who did this story, they misrepresented him. He was just a guy on Tinder looking for love. And for whatever reason, these women were upset. So they made up these stories to make him look bad. So he wants to tell his own side of the story. He's currently selling cameos there's a cameo app to where you can request from a celebrity to give you a shout out, like, hey, happy birthday to whatever, happy birthday or happy anniversary. So he's making money off of that. He's selling these cameos for $300. Looks like he wants to write a book to tell his side of the story, and he also wants to star in a dating show and host a dating podcast. So all of that is crazy, right? But what's crazier, but not really, I mean, I guess if I think about it, is the fact that he has an audience that is willing to sit through and listen and or champion this guy. So I guess I wanted to ask you, what is it that makes people want to I guess, who want to support this guy. What is it about? Is that something about them? What does that say about us as a society? What is it that makes this guy become popular almost?
I think it's the whole, people want to be on the in thing. They want to be in on the cool thing. And this is the popular thing. He was able to scam those women out of all that money. So he does have some sort of it factor that pulls people in and makes them feel, I don't know, special or whatever the case may be. He has something that is, dragging people in, and people like to be obtuse for no reason. People like to be
Yeah,
contrarian for
yeah,
no
yeah.
reason. So, it's a lot of times I'm sure it's people like, what? He probably right. They probably tricked him. They probably did something to him. They probably lying on him. I mean, because again, patriarchy, there are people, women
That's true.
included, who are willing to say, what, these women, they're the wrong ones. They're bad. They shouldn't go tell him. It's just people that are just like that. And there's no really rhyme or reason other than, people weird. And and I think that's really just kind of what it boils down to. And the fact that it is, the it thing that, because everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about this movie. It's
Hmm.
on Netflix. It made all this money. It's been
Hmm.
trending. So he saw that there's extra money there that he can get in on. So he's like, let me get in on that. And, it's a part of pop culture. So again, people weird. I don't I
I'll
don't know
definitely
what else to say.
co-sign. No, I'll definitely co-sign on the people wanting to be in on the latest thing, which definitely this is the latest thing because everybody's talking about it. But I'll also add that I think a lot of people not push back on what you said about this guy has some sort of thing that draws people in.
Mhm.
I think for the same reason that people want to be in on what's next for this dude, I think that was the same thing that lured these women in the first place was they wanted to be in on this lifestyle that he was leading. I think if this dude, again, I mean, he's handsome, but he ain't, knocked down, drop dead, gorgeous enough to where if
Mhm.
he was just a regular old dude,
Walking down
I
the
don't think he
street.
would have got that far with
No.
these women. I think what attracted them, they was attracted to the fake lifestyle
Mhm.
that he was leading. And as a result, he was able to pull, these scams on these women because they figured, okay, if I just help him out, then I will be get to
I'll
live this
make all
lifestyle.
that bag. I'll make all
Yeah.
that back plus some. I'll be on the yachts. I'll be on the
On the
private
boats
jets.
and the private jets and at the
Yep.
hotels and at the
Yeah.
events and get the cars and the clothes and the shopping,
Yeah.
things of that nature. So,
Yeah. So he can
same
floss for the gram because a lot of people
because
do it for
that's
the
what some of
gram.
the women were doing. Uh, um, Prior to meeting this guy, they were on trying to curate their Twitter or Instagram or Tinder feeds to where they wanted to project this lifestyle. So, what do people who want to project the lifestyle do? They are attracted to people who are also projecting that lifestyle and then some.
Yep.
So, I think that's why a lot of people are attracted to it because they're attracted to the spectacle,
Yep.
which is what
For
this
sure.
is. So a lot of people will, you know, uh, pay for these cameos to say, "Ooh, look, this guy that everybody's talking about, he said something about me personally."
Mhm.
And this dating show, let's just say it becomes a thing and it's actually becomes a dating show. There will be women who show up to participate at this dating show because they want to be a part of the spectacle. There'll be a
And they want to get famous. They may see it as a launching pad to start
mhm,
their own reality career. Like what's the show, The Bachelor? I've never watched it, but
mhm,
people have sprung careers and
mhm,
things out of, they become the bachelorette, or they become like a host or correspondent, or
mhm,
have their
mhm.
own following outright because of their personality on the show. So I could definitely see people, even if they are not in it for him or the love or whatever you want to call it, the dating, it's another platform. It's another way for them to build their following. So, people do anything to get their follow count up.
right. But it just seems like it doesn't in the general sense of what this dude did, if not illegal, was just ethically and morally terrible. The fact that people can do things that are morally and ethically terrible, but still become influential in our current lifestyle, in our current society, because people are attracted to this. It just
It's
rubs me the wrong
wild.
way. The fact that we are victims to it, because we're talking about it,
We're
right?
talking about it.
I'm the type of person to where it's like I don't watch reality TV.
Mm-mm.
And the reason why I don't want to watch reality TV is because I want to believe this is not reality, because it's not reality,
It's
right?
not. It's curated.
Right. So I don't watch reality TV. I don't talk about me not watching reality TV. I don't. If I'm not interested in something, I
Not
don't.
gonna watch it.
I'm not going to take part, right? So, but conversely speaking, I think what this dude did was terrible. I think he was morally and ethically wrong. I think he should be in jail. But yet, I'm
Here
sitting
he
here talking
is,
about it, right?
and he
So
got to keep all the money. These women
right,
still owe this money.
right. But I'm talking about this even though I feel like he did something morally and ethically wrong, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to support it. I'm talking about it because it's so. I'm not admonishing anybody. I just think it's sad that for him to do something like this, but still be able to capitalize off of it. It just speaks
Yeah.
to maybe where our society is going, and maybe it ain't all that rosy. I don't know.
Where it
Maybe
is, I don't think we're going. I think we're there.
right.
It's a
Okay.
hot mess.
Yeah. So, maybe this will be my last time talking about it. Maybe I need to accentuate the positive and come up with some more subjects that are more positive versus being a part of the train wreck.